Today, I'll focus on identifying and evaluating business opportunities, a foundational step in building a strong venture. We'll consider how to recognize an opportunity that is worth pursuing, rather than simply an idea that sounds appealing. Just as importantly, we'll look at how to test that opportunity before investing significant time and resources in building it. The central goal is disciplined evaluation, understanding the opportunity clearly, examining its potential, and using evidence to guide decisions in business plan development. A business opportunity is not simply a creative idea. It exists when there is a meaningful gap between what people currently have and what they genuinely need. The strongest opportunities are attractive, timely, and durable. Attractive means a market is large enough and demand is real. Timely means the opportunity fits current trends or conditions, rather than arriving too early or too late. And durable means it can continue creating value beyond a short-lived novelty. Together, these qualities help distinguish a promising opportunity from an idea that only sounds interesting. Opportunities rarely appear out of thin air. They come from paying close attention to problems, patterns, and change. Personal experience is one important source. A frustration you encounter may reveal a need that existing products don't solve well. Market trends can also uncover shifts in demographics, technology, or consumer behavior. Industry gaps point to underserved customers or inefficient incumbents. And new technologies may make entirely new products possible or help deliver existing solutions at a lower cost. The key is to observe deliberately and connect what you see to a meaningful unmet need. The opportunity recognition process turns an initial observation into something that can be tested and pursued. I begin by observing carefully, looking for unmet needs, frustrations, or patterns. From those observations, I generate multiple ideas rather than settling on the first possibility. Next, I screen those ideas for relevance and feasibility, and then validate the strongest ones with evidence. Validation is the most critical step. Without it, an appealing idea is still only an assumption, and skipping this discipline can lead entrepreneurs to invest in opportunities that are not truly viable. When evaluating a business opportunity, I first want to understand what type it is. That classification helps clarify the likely risk, the capital required, and how difficult it may be for competitors to copy. Most successful small businesses are improvement or replication opportunities, not world-changing inventions. They succeed by taking an existing idea, process, or product and making it more useful, accessible, or effective for a specific market. That is not a limitation. It is often a lower risk path. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. You need to solve a real problem better than others in your market. When I evaluate an opportunity, I use 5 factors to separate an interesting idea from a viable business. First, market size. Is the total addressable market large enough to support meaningful growth? Second, customer pain. How urgent is the problem, and will customers pay for a solution? Third, the competitive landscape, including who is already there and how we would differentiate. Fourth, founder market fit, the skills, network, and passion to execute. Finally, revenue potential, whether the model can produce sustainable margins and scale over time. When assessing market size, I look at the opportunity through 3 increasingly focused lenses: TAM, SAM, and SLAM. TAM is the total global or national market. SAM narrows it down to the segment my business can actually reach and serve. SAM is a realistic share I could capture in the early stages. Investors and lenders need to see meaningful potential, but they also value discipline. A data-backed SLM estimate is far more persuasive than an inflated TAM because it connects ambition with a credible path to growth. Before investing time and money, I need to validate that the problem is real and that customers actually care about solving it. The most costly mistake is building a product nobody wants. I can reduce that risk by conducting at least 20 problem interviews before writing a business plan, then testing the concept with a landing page, prototype, or pilot. Finally, I should measure behavior, not just opinions. Sign-ups, pre-orders, and direct feedback provide stronger evidence than enthusiastic comments alone. Validation turns assumptions into decisions I can act on. When evaluating an opportunity, a few common traps can distort otherwise thoughtful decisions. First, avoid falling in love with the idea. Enthusiasm can make it easy to dismiss warning signs in the data or in customer feedback. Next, do not skip competitor analysis. The belief that no one else is pursuing the opportunity is rarely accurate, and it may signal limited demand rather than an open market. Finally, separate interest from revenue. Positive reactions are encouraging, but only real willingness to pay can validate demand. This slide shows how a strong business plan begins with a well-understood opportunity. First, we validate the problem and confirm who the customer is. That foundation shapes the business model, including how we create value, generate revenue, and manage costs. From there, the business plan brings the broader strategy together, covering financials, operations, and marketing. A validated opportunity becomes the cornerstone of the entire plan. When the opportunity analysis is clear, each section can build logically on the same evidence and direction. The core message is simple. Observe first, evaluate rigorously, validate always, and plan with clarity. Careful observation reveals real problems, while the five-factor framework helps us commit resources thoughtfully. Testing with real customers reduces assumptions, and strong opportunity analysis strengthens every part of the business plan.